Okay, so today we're back with Tim Bentley, who is our triathlete, master trainer and all-round cardio guru. Hi, Tim.
Hey.
And we're going to talk a little bit about the running aspect of triathlons. I think it's really interesting, Tim, that you mentioned in our first little clip that running is your forte. However, you haven't actually run a straight marathon, or you've done one.
The only marathon I have done is in when I ran Hawaii Ironman triathlon. So that event is a 3.8k swim, a 180k bike, and a marathon run, which is 42. So I actually ran that marathon in 3 hours, right on 3 hours. So that's the only time I've ever run a marathon. I've done a good half marathon time, so I had the record in Geelong through the Geelong Half Marathon. I won that a couple of years running, and I ran 1 hour 5 minutes 30 seconds. And in other events I've ran 30 minutes for 10k.
Tim, I once in 1989 ran the Melbourne Marathon, and my goal was to finish in under 4.5 hours, which I just did. So running 3 hours is quite amazing. I mean, how's that compared to a marathon runner that focuses solely on marathons?
In the Hawaii Ironman triathlon, it's more of you're running after doing 180k on the bike, so you're running tired, so the pace wouldn't be as fast as if you're running a straight run. So it's more of you have to be a strong runner rather than a really super fast runner.
Right, yeah. And how do those legs feel when you do get off the bike and head into the run?
In an event like that, you might, the first few Ks, you just feel in your legs, you just feel like you've got jelly legs. And
wow.
Yeah, it takes a while, and you pick the pace up and you get into a rhythm, and you just have to listen to your body.
So we've got a couple of marathon runners here at BC, and actually one of the girls this week was talking to me about her technique and the heel strike as opposed to the ball of your foot hitting the ground first. And we were talking all kinds of things, like her coach says not to do a lying leg curl because you don't run lying down on your stomach, which I thought, well, okay, I'm not going to argue that. What would you have to say to something like that?
I think you can still do whatever in the gym. Gym work's going to make you a stronger athlete for sure, and I still enjoy doing the weights, always have.
How often do you train with weights, Tim?
3 to 4 times a week.
Wow. Okay.
You've got to have a balance of strength and endurance.
So what would be your typical rep range in the gym?
I would do anywhere between 6 to 12 reps.
Quite like the trainees at BC?
Pretty much follow the BC program.
That's interesting.
Yes.
Okay. And with running, I've always thought, well, what's so difficult about putting one foot in front of the other and using a bit of motion and momentum? Is it a technical thing?
It is. There are certain running drills that you can perform in your warm-up. I've enjoyed doing some barefoot running recently on ovals, just to strengthen the foot, and it's the most natural gait you'll ever do. You've got to build up gradually, but you've got to learn to be a light runner on your feet. Sure, you heel strike, but you roll off your heel onto the ball of your foot, and you've got to be very strong in your core to keep your upper body nice and still. So there is definitely technique in running.
Right. Speaking of core, I would say that you are absolutely amazing at delivering core sessions. Absolutely brilliant. So again, looking and focusing at those that perhaps are fairly new into triathlons, come on, give us a couple of names of some exercises that you would focus on that you have personally found really good to build some core strength.
For running, definitely your single leg squats, any work on the ball, your leg curls, your jackknives. Most most things that involve single leg and stability are all important. There's a multitude of exercises you can do.
Okay.
But even just stepping up on steps is, with weights in your hand, or jump off onto a step is good. And mimicking the action that you would do in running. If you get a high knee lift, long stride.
Well, that just makes sense, yeah. And sometimes keeping it that simple is incredibly beneficial, isn't it?
Look at the action that is involved in the sport and learn to be strong at that action.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thanks very much, Tim.